Good.
How's it going, folks? Welcome into Overtalk. We're on episode 11. The beta's back. The beta has awakened officially. Everyone's excited, guys. How we've all kind of just thrown a ton of time into the beta. What do we think? Was this worth the wait? Was this worth the extra month that we had to wait for this?
I'm just here to collect my money and go play again. So if we could hurry this show up, that'd be like absolutely stellar.
It really is. Like I feel like a crack addict that was in rehab for a long time, and then they finally let you out, and then you're like, I'm just gonna go get more drugs. Like that's what I'm gonna do.
We talked about PG and we immediately mentioned crack.
I'm just saying.
Way to go, Chris.
I'm just saying.
Way to go.
It literally is. That's how I feel at this game. It's so exciting.
It is.
This game has. I think like there's nothing about this game that they improved that didn't completely change the way I looked at how Overwatch is. Like the menus overhauled, the options, everything about this is fantastic. Everyone.
Oh, it looks incredible.
Everyone kind of in agreement here.
The only thing the only thing I found hinky was the social page. It seemed a little like it wasn't fully integrated, but other than that, like I mean, that's like the minorest qualm you could have.
I have a few more qualms, but I mean overall, like okay, so here's my story, right? So Friday I get XCOM 2, okay, but it's Mardi Gras in Louisiana, right? So I'm like gone on Friday, and I'm gone through through Tuesday, okay. So I get back, and Overwatch beta is back, and I haven't even loaded up XCOM yet. I was about to load up XCOM, and I was like, Dylan was on. I was like, oh, I can play Overwatch with Dylan. Let's do that.
Yeah. Cable, what were you saying?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay.
I'm having a great time. I mean, I'm super stoked, man. It's so much
He's
fun.
just here to listen.
I'm glad it's back, obviously, but I have definitely fallen in love with a lot of the features that they've added. Just things seem a little bit more crisp, and the skins are so cool. Yeah, I'm one of those like suckers who love skins, but some of the legendary or whatever you want to call them skins are amazing.
Yeah, I mean, let's just jump into that really quick. I knew they were gonna add skins into this game, but like the amount of skins surprised me. And sure, a lot of them are recolors, but like some of them are just fantastic. Like I think my favorite skin personally is Safari Winston. Like that skin is so good. He has the beard, he has the mustache. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
I love I love a lot of things about the skin features actually. The way they implement it. Obviously, some of the skins are themselves just really cool looking and unique. But I like the fact that they started with recolors. It took League of Legends forever, right? Some of their new skins that you could buy at the very beginning were just recolors at a full skin price. But the way that Overwatch did it is they made the recolor skins really cheap, very accessible and unique. They didn't just name them red, blue, green, yellow. They kind of added some flavor of the character and how that character would call those colors. But then even some of the upper end skins, there's some of them I don't understand. You know, we could go into each individual hero if we wanted to, but some of the skins it's like, oh, it's silver instead of gray, and that's like the really great one. There's 3 tiers, right? There's basic. Yeah. I don't know, what do you want to call it?
There's like a basic, a rare, and a legendary. The legendaries are like the full different skins. Like that's like Safari Winston.
They're new models, basically.
Yeah.
But some of the rares are not that fantastic. Some of them are really cool. Like some of the carbon fiber-ish ones I really like. My favorite skin. It's really cool. That is an awesome one. My favorite one is El Blanco for Reaper. It is so amazing. I just like was scrolling through all the skins, and that's the first one. When I hit it, I was like, I have to have that.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny. When the beta first came out, I like woke up and started streaming immediately, and Dylan was on, and so I played my first matches with Dylan, and Dylan's first matches. The first loot box he pulls a Valkyrie Mercy, and
nice.
like just like legend skin right off the bat, and I was so mad.
You know who's gotten more lucky than me? Bizzle actually picked up his second legendary skin today.
Yeah.
Wow.
What skin were they? What skins you got, Bizzle?
The Tau not Junkrat,
Roadhog.
Roadhog, the Tau Roadhog,
That one's really
and
Oh, that one's so
the,
cool.
the Devil Mercy.
Yeah,
Oh,
that one's
oh,
also really cool. So
What
I
along
color
with-
are legendaries?
what's up?
Orange.
What color are legend?
Orange.
Okay, I haven't gotten any.
They're the 1,000. So like it's like the 1 in 1,000 pulls.
Oh,
Yep.
and then
You
I've
get them in
gotten two
drops, right?
epic skins too. So
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
Oh, they're called epics. The second
Or
level's
yeah,
called epics.
Epics. I
Okay.
think.
we're gonna call them epic.
Whatever.
We're gonna harsh some.
Yeah, I mean technically they are blue, orange, and right blue,
Yellow.
blue,
I mean,
purple,
we're-
and yellow, right? So yeah.
I mean, it's Hearthstone coloration and then
Yeah.
WoW drop coloration.
Okay, cool. So they're rare, epic, and legendaries. Cool, dude. I will say, when I first started looking through them, I was like looking through Roadhog skins, and I was like, wow, the Toa one looks really cool. And it's way better than the pirate themed one. And then as you rotate the pirate themed one, you realize that it's not just a shark hat he has on; it's a full pelt. Like the fin goes down your back and like
Sick.
flaps as like a cape as you're walking. It's great.
I did not see that.
It's fantastic.
Dude, the shark
yeah.
one's awesome.
yeah, it's
I
like,
want the
I thought
shark
it was
one's
just
so
like a
bad.
shark mask, and then he's like, "Nope, I'm just wearing the pelt of this thing."
yeah, it's a full pelt. So it like the it's like a cape that flaps as you're running around. It's great.
Wow.
It's so good.
I love the creativity of the Bastion legendary that it's got grass and stuff on it. I think
Oh, that's
it's not
so cool.
Isn't that the
it's a
pre-order
really
bonus
unique
though?
concept.
That's the pre-order.
Oh,
one
is
we're
that
getting,
the
though.
pre-order one?
The overgrown
Yeah, that's
Bastion, right?
overgrown. That's
Yeah.
in a pre-order.
Ah.
Yeah, so you're getting that for
But-
free, Cable.
Yes. You know what
know
I
what's-
anticipate though? Oh, go ahead, Dylan.
Go ahead.
I've bogarted this. Well, okay. What I've anticipated is that if we don't see colored skins in competitive, if esports don't go red versus blue team or green team versus purple team, if that's not the way that it naturally goes, which it may, I just see people in the highly competitive people choosing the camouflage-esque colors.
Yeah.
So let's say the map is predominantly blue, so pick a blue skin because you're going to blend in easier. It's going to, people are going to get less hits off of you. So I think that's the way it's going to end up going for actual competitive play. But obviously in
Or-
YOLO queue, it's going to be who has the coolest skin.
Or actually,
This was
segueing that in with the custom game feature that we got, the new custom game features actually allows us to disable skins. So I think tournaments might actually take that approach.
I
I
hope
think
they
the
don't.
competitive thing is interesting because in Call of Duty Ghosts, like going back a few years, there were actually a number of skins and camos that were banned in competitive play entirely because like some of them were just impossible to see on certain maps and some of them had like weird hitboxes. So I can definitely, if pros find any advantage in any little skin, like if it makes your hitbox seem a little bit smaller or if you blend into a certain map, then everybody's going to run that, no questions asked, because especially with pro gamers, that any tiny little edge, it's no matter how stupid or silly it may seem, they're going to pick up on it. So,
Yeah, man.
but if you can disable skins in spectator, then it's like
Like
it'll make
Blitzcrank.
it easier for the user. Yeah, that's oh my gosh, we're not
Okay,
even
so-
going to go there.
I forget. Are they going to be actually implementing a purchasable currency into this, or is just
Yes.
unlocks?
Yes.
No,
So,
you can
okay,
you
if-
can buy credits to buy loot boxes, or if you get duplicates, you
Okay.
can sell those for credits.
Okay. If
And
they
you can
do
get
that,
credits from loot boxes themselves.
Yes,
So
that's
they'll
right.
come in as drops as well.
okay.
So you can open a box and get like 1,000 credits for your loot box
Ah.
instead of anything else.
It will be to their advantage to show skins in competitive play in the same manner that League of Legends does it or Dota does it, right? It will sell skins. It's a natural sales pitch. And in fact, it'll get to the point where Blizzard will start asking pros to run the new skins just so that people can see them and see how cool they are so that people go out and buy them. I think it's a silly thing to disable skins in competitive.
I think from a marketing standpoint, it's silly to disable them. But like from a competitive standpoint, I could see you disabling skins.
Yeah.
Like if I was
Up to
running
the
a,
admins, I guess.
if I was running a tournament, like I think I would be lenient more towards banning skins, just from my personal preference of competitive integrity. But I don't know. It's
The fine line we walk, Chris.
It's a really
Yeah.
fine line. Do you want to make money? Does your tournament want to make money, or do you want to go ahead and make a good tournament?
I mean, as a spectator though, I want those skins in there. Like,
Yeah.
I want some asshole, sorry, to come into into like some match, like super cocky, and like throws the most flashy skin they can put on.
Yeah.
and say, I'm that much better than you that I can do this.
Sure.
I don't like seeing skins. Like when I first started watching League of Legends competitively, I mean, watching competitively. When I started watching like Pro League of Legends, I was really confused because I wasn't familiar enough with the champions to know, like, oh, this genre looks like really weird. Like, is this still the same genre? I would like confuse champions with one another because, I mean, I just couldn't tell. I think it's less of a problem in Overwatch, but if you want to go like purely simplicity's sake, I think disabling skins is a good idea. But I mean, if they're gonna make Blizzard money, then like skins everywhere. Like, might as well pay this players to use skins at that point.
Mm-hmm.
True. Yeah. Yeah. But skins are awesome. I love the look.
Yeah.
I love the feel. I love that they're in there. I just hope they don't get too out of control with them, where they're like way over the top and they cause visual problems and stuff like that. Like that's where it gets into a little too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the other segment too that we kind of touched on was custom games. They completely overhauled that section of the game.
Yeah.
The custom matchmaking feature is so in depth. It allows you to customize pretty much anything. It is fantastic. Has anyone dove into that yet?
I haven't gotten to.
Not really had a chance. I mean, you kind of need the 12-person tango to get it
Yeah,
ready.
I mean, I haven't gone in and actually like played a match in there, but I've gone in and looked at the settings. You can change pretty much everything. You can limit which heroes you're using, how many, like whether or not you could switch in, switch out, like mid match, figuring out like the limit the number of switches. You can pick game types, set time, respawn timer, all kinds of stuff like that. Even health and shield regeneration and values. Like it's
Wow.
crazy. They're that to me is like what's gonna make this game run. So like from the basis that they give us so far with this custom game function, you can create so many different game types and game modes. And they even said that they're giving you the tools to do that. And if one of them does get extremely popular, they would feel comfortable putting it into like a main matchmaking mode. So that's a huge
evolution.
community thing.
Yeah, we're gonna see. I'm really curious to see then which of these, permutations comes out to be the competitive winner.
Yeah, I mean, because we've seen
Ulti battle. Ulti's on 100% cooldown.
You can change that too. You can change that. You can change down like how fast your ulti recharges and stuff like that. Like it's crazy. There's so much stuff you can move around in there. Yeah, I mean we've seen it with big game hunters. Like big game hunters became extremely popular. Dota they got to start with custom games. We've seen with Halo, with shooters in particular, you got the human versus zombies. You got zombies mode in there, like all kinds of stuff.
There's a kill feed display?
Yeah.
I was whining for 3 hours about this and I didn't even see it. Oh my gosh, I'm so stupid.
Yeah, so like also if you go into the
yeah,
settings,
an
you can turn on a kill feed, and turn off kill cam, all kinds of stuff like that.
Wow.
They
I'm
really
looking at the
went in
patch
there.
notes. I love that you can limit hero selection
Yes.
and even role selection. I think that is going to be the real thing that people play around with in competitive.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
No more point B diva spam.
Yeah.
Woo!
But actually, the thing we kind of skipped over was player progression. The way that you progress in the game. How do we like that? Do we like that it's not attached to a hero? That it's just kind of attached to your account and that there's no limit? Like,
Love it. Because if they attached it to hero, we'd have so many problems of like, that's when the main wars start coming out. It's like, oh, I main Bastion. I'm not, playing anything else. You'll have to deal with this. Go tank, go support. I'm gonna be me, and you all, cover the slack. This is really great to see because what it's allowing the players to do, it's pretty much just rewarding you for being out there and playing. It's not terribly heavily tied to winning. I think you get 250 XP plus for winning a match.
Yeah.
But right now, it still rewards you for being out there and playing.
It's 500, which is a bit. It's like it took an extra. What is it? Roughly an extra 20%, 15-20%.
yeah, for winning, right?
Yeah, for winning.
Yeah.
Because you get a match completed XP for 250 if you lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Wait.
not a huge deal. It's not
Wait, you don't get the match completed and the winning bonus?
No,
I
you
don't
only
think
get
so.
you get a
I could
match
be
win.
wrong.
You get a match win if you win, and then a match complete if you lose.
Oh, okay. I don't you mean. Oh, whatever.
Yeah, but guys, like, what is the limit? Like, of course, it doesn't infinitely scale, right? So, like, what is the highest point your XP per level can be? Does anyone know what it is?
What if there's a max level?
Yeah,
Actually.
because there's no max level, right? So you can keep scaling forever, but
Oh my god.
obviously, like the scaling isn't as high as like it doesn't scale like I think it scales like your first level is 1,000 XP, second level is 2,000, whatever, right?
There's a Reddit thread about it, actually.
Yeah, but what's the
Is it linear? Or is it logarithmic, or what is it?
I think it's linear, but then at a point it can't be linear anymore because then you're going to be spending 1,000,000 XP per level once you're like a high enough level, right? So like,
Well, yeah, that's just the way it goes.
Yeah, but for
It goes up
progression's
500 XP per level.
Oh, here it is. I found it. It's a Reddit thread.
Yeah. After a while, it just goes up 500 XP.
Oh, okay, here. So at level 23, it says. At
It's
level
2200.
Yeah, 2200,
20,000.
and then they think that's the cap.
22,000.
22,000. Sorry, 22,000. But like after 22,000, then it's not like level 24. To get to level 24, it's also 22,000. Like that's the cap. That's the highest your next level is gonna get.
Oh, that's not
But
bad.
that's just a rumor. That doesn't even make sense as to why that would be the case.
Well, like, it's not because the thing is, it's not like Paragon levels for Diablo, right? Like once you scale to a certain point, like because then it's gonna then you don't earn loot boxes anymore, right? So you just kind of like have to buy them at that point. So you can't only get 23 loot boxes, and then like once you get to a certain point, you just can't earn a loot box anymore. That like kind of ruins their whole progression system.
Well,
It depends on how
okay.
EA they want to be and just like rake people over the coals.
Sure, but I mean, I believe in Blizzard not to do that, right? So you would
Yeah, I
you
mean,
would think,
okay, but look at it like this. All right, so everything from what is it? From level 8 on goes from level 16 on goes up 500 each time, right?
Okay.
I don't see why it would A, change from that point because we haven't seen it yet, and B, even if it didn't, that's an extra what, like half a game?
Yeah, but Bizzle, you gotta remember 500 per level. At like once you're at like level 500, that's an extra however many games compared to how it is now. Like
yeah, I
that's
mean, the point here is controlling the experience. Like, there is a point where Blizzard said, you know what, you're going to have to play X games to get a piece of loot. We're okay. We've set this limit. We've set this ratio. We know what it is. We can, craft the experience if we feel that, people aren't getting rewarded enough or people are getting rewarded too little. We'll go in and fix it there. But right now, this is a very flexible system for them to work with.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, at a certain point, there can't be crazy high numbers. Like, it can't take you over 1,000 hours to earn a level, because that ruins their entire progression.
Yeah, I'm gonna use this opportunity to take kind of the devil's advocate on what was said about like not tying it to the individual heroes. I agree with there being an overall your account level or your account progression. I like that. But I would like something tied to the individual heroes. I would like to display that, like, hey, I am a Bastion master, right? And that shows up. I have a level 30 account. Let's say they cap it at 30. I have a level 30 account, and my Bastion is level 20. And maybe the individual hero levels are much harder to actually accrue, and it shows that you have experience. It shows that you have time put onto that hero. It doesn't do anything, practically to add to your power in playing the game or to change anything. Maybe it unlocks one really cool extra legendary skin at the very end when you hit max hero level. But besides that, I mean, I think that there's something to be said for individual hero experience.
Yeah, but I mean that's what Blizzard wants to go against. They don't want you to get hooked on one hero or one specific role. They want to make sure that when you're going into the game, you're remaining flexible to always bring out the best chance to win for your team. If what needs to happen is you need to change to support, you shouldn't have a feeling that, oh, I shouldn't change to support because I want to make sure that I'm getting rank 20 on my Bastion.
I agree. I see what
Yeah.
you're saying, but they're fighting human tendency at that point. And do you really want to retrain people on how to play video games, or do you want to just go along with how they naturally play, anyways?
But
Yeah.
it's not retraining people. Like it
It
is.
absolutely is. And there's concrete evidence to that effect. And what is the
Okay.
concrete evidence, Kid Liquid
What?
and Piscator, that you guys just
Yeah,
posted?
but see, I would raise
Oh.
that Chris only
Oh my
did what he did because the champion was or the hero was broken at the time.
No,
he was
I
playing
still
Diva
love
because it could literally be played through like anything.
No,
Like there was-
personally, I just love Diva. I'm gonna play Diva no matter what.
I
Doesn't
mean-
matter.
As somebody who I played a ton of Junkrat ever since like the original beta and the relaunch of the beta. The reason I do that is because I'm really good at Junkrat. Do I want like a little icon that only really good Junkrat players can have? I think that'd be cool, but at the same time, I don't like what that kind of system and incentive brings to games like this, because we've all played those games. Like for me, it was like in Call of Duty, like you have to get like 10 no scopes, and you'd always have that one like jerk friend who's like, don't blame me for losing, I'm just trying to get my no scope medal. Or in League of Legends, the person who spammed Bard for like 25 games before he was good just to get the mastery points.
Yeah,
It's like,
who's
oh,
that
I'm just
guy?
doing it for the mastery points. It doesn't make the game fun in like a social way. And like, what's good enough for me personally, Piscator, and like being a good Junkrat player is just dumping on people with Junkrat. That's enough for me. I don't know if other people. It's really unlikely that everybody else will think the exact same way. People like having that little thing to display, but I don't like what it does for the game when you have that thing that you have to chase, that you have to grind for, that really changes the way you play the game,
Sure.
how Blizzard meant for you to play it.
And like honestly, I think the maybe like Cable was saying, the way to get around this, and I think I brought this up on a previous episode as well, is to add the caveat that like in order to gain maybe hero mastery points, we'll just go with that, or like hero experience, you have to win the match that you're playing that hero in. So it forces you to win the match and like be active in trying to win in order to gain those points. So if you're
I mean, but
losing,
these people,
if you're
these
losing, then you're not
people-
going to get it.
but these people think that they're like trying to win, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't think anyone whose thought process is whose thought process says I need to do this, right? I need to do X, Y, or I need to play X, Y, or Z character, right? Is going to say, but I also need to win. Like that, I don't think that would work.
But then
personally.
I would argue that this is not the game for them then. If they're not trying, like this game is more so than most other shooters that I've seen is so team based. Like if you're not trying to actively win as a team, it's not going to go well.
Yeah, I see both sides of the coin, and I definitely get what you guys are talking about. And for player experience, it's better that people are not, shooting for rewards as opposed to playing the game for the game itself. I just think that there's something to be said for hero mastery. I'm also the guy who likes skill tree based MMOs as opposed to just flat level MMOs. I'm the guy who likes flexibility and individual mastery paths.
I get that, and the one big counterpoint I will tell you is so whenever I got the Roadhog skin, legendary Roadhog skin, right? I played a shit ton of Roadhog for like an hour, right? Did that really help my team? No. But after that initial time, right, I started flexing out to other characters to help out the team to win, right? So I went back to my normal tendency. And I feel like what you do when you put that hero mastery is you take the people with a tendency to be that flexible and try and they're gonna want to be good or like have the thing with a character that they love.
Yeah, and I think that's a natural tendency too. Like I love Diva, right? I love Diva, but I want to be good at it, right? So I'm gonna play her a ton to try to figure out and try to learn this character. And like when you just said, like when you got that Roadhog skin, you played a ton of Roadhog because you wanted to use the skin and you wanted to be good at Roadhog, right? Because you got the skin, you're like, this is cool. And I think like that's the same thing of when you're talking about when you're talking about mastery.
But it wasn't even to be good at Roadhog though, right? Like yes, I would like to have been good at Roadhog, but that was a secondary thing. I just wanted to play McCool in the skin.
Sure, but I think like playing a hero a ton and spamming a hero is gonna make you better at that hero. Whether or not you're good at the hero, you're gonna get better at the hero just by playing it. Like the more you do something, you're gonna get better at it naturally, right? Whether you're trying to or not, like you're just gonna get better at it. So I think that sort of adds to the idea of hero mastery or hero, getting skill with a hero. Yeah, I think
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? Like so whether or not that forced you to play and spam a hero, like that could be better to make you better at a hero. It could show that you're trying to master the hero. As well,
I like the idea that so like tying it to wins so that you're actually forced to try.
Yeah, I think like sure, maybe getting less points for a loss and more points for a win, like making it a really slow crawl if you're losing, but make it pretty quick if you're winning. Like,
I mean, it could be interesting if you gave like a multiplier for your team actually having like a healthy composition. Like you know how at the start of the game it says, okay, here's what your team's missing to fill out. And maybe at the end of the game it reads like what your team comp was at the end, and if you were specifically missing something, you get a penalty. That way, if you have like 6 guys that all want to master Diva and they're all out there just doing Diva spam, the system, even if they win, the system would say, hey, that style of play isn't necessarily healthy. And
I think that's ruining though. I think that limits meta. I think that's like I think
that puts meta in a computerized system.
Yeah, that forces meta, which is really bad.
I have something I want to talk about.
What's up?
So the badges for experience you get, the gold, silver, and bronze badges, right? The big problem I have with that one so far is the lack of anything real for a support character.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that's a problem they've said too that they've had with statistics is just kind of like figuring out how to give, because again it works that way for attack heroes and defense heroes, but it doesn't really work well for tanks or support, because like if I'm just standing there tanking damage as like Reinhardt, right, you don't really get rewarded for that. Same for heals.
But even as a tank, you're still more likely to get stuff like objective time, and a few other.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like in general, like if you're not getting kills or assists or you're not gonna accumulate those medals.
Right, and let's put it this way: medals now actually do give you an EXP reward. So bronze gives you 50 XP, silver gives you 100. And gold will give you 250. All you need to do is get one in one of the categories that your character is graded on, and then you get that experience reward at the end of the game.
Yep.
Yeah. So, even if it was just amount healed, right? Even if it was, okay, you were the hero of this game, you get a gold medal.
But then you got a gold medal just for being a healer.
Yeah.
How about a utility category? Heals, shield, armor, damage tanked, and other utility like speed boosts, teleports. A lot of that can fit into one category. Obviously, those things like teleports and things would have to be weighted differently, but I think a utility category would be cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see how they weighted that, because obviously then you're trying to figure out as a game dev which one is more critically important, right?
Yep.
To weight it correctly, and like that's a really hard thing to weight.
That'd be a lot harder. But okay, so that would solve 2 things if we just think about like this idea, right? So if we put a heal or amount heal, right? So it solves the problem of not having that game dev have to figure out balancing, right? It also solves the problem of a lot of pugs not wanting to have a healer.
Or a tank. As someone that plays a lot of supports, the lack of tanks really gets to me, because I'm out there being a healer and then I'm like, there's no safe place for me to be. Like I can try dashing back and forth as Mercy, but there's like, unless there's a tank for me to kind of sit behind or stand with, you're just you're so good. Vulnerable.
Me and Dylan were playing, I think that the other day, and I was Diva and he was Mercy, and so he was just behind me the whole time. As soon as my mech got destroyed, we would both have to run away, because I was literally the only tank that we had.
Oh my god. I mean, so do it for both. Do it for damage taken, and do it for damage healed.
But see, like, I think this is just people underestimating tanks. Like, I go in as Winston, and I can walk out with like #1 elims, #1 final blows. Like, I think this is just where, like, for some reason, these people have a very poor, stigmatized view of what tanks can do, because tanks can be so strong. Like, Josh Bizzle and I were playing leading up to this game, and I was playing Mercy one game, and we faced this Winston who was just, like, pun intended, bananas. He was jumping through the air to catch me, and I was playing Pocket Mercy on a Pharah, and he was literally jumping into the air to get me out of the match. Like, he was just, going insane all the time, and he was so effective. Like, he was literally one of the MVPs of the other team just because he knew how to play his tank hero aggressively.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of it's a problem of the very small player pool that we have, because with the smaller population, trends are going to take longer to normalize and develop. And we're still in closed beta. Not a whole lot of newer open beta or like invitations went out. And it's only day 1, or no, day 2 of... Is it day 1 today? Day 2.
Day 2.
Day 2 of the relaunch. So I think as time goes on, people are going to realize how useful tanks can be, how useful and fun supports can be. Because I feel at the beginning of the original beta, like, it was kind of like everybody wanted to play damage, McCree, Widowmaker, but then as we went on, we saw more Zenyatta's come out, we saw more like Lucio's come out, more supports actually being played. I think it just takes time.
But
I mean, I have to... Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
I mean, but you're solving the secondary issue, right? The secondary issue is our lack of tanks and supports. The first and primary issue is those people lacking ability, especially supports, to get the medals that give you experience.
Mm-hmm.
Which will create the problem, which will exacerbate the issue of not having enough of them. In my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, not enough supports is... Yeah, I mean, not enough supports has been like an issue as long as online gaming has existed. I mean, it's the same when you queued up for raids in WoW. It's the same if you do dynamic queue now in League of Legends. I'm sure it's the same in Dota. Like, it's just the fact that... And you know what? Once again, I will say it's because supports are stigmatized. And now if the reward system isn't fixed, now they actually have a tangible reason, but they're like, oh, it's a support. I'm not being, the flashy one. I'm not out there getting the kills, doing the running, the gunning. But really, you're such an integral part of the team. And I'll tell you, like, I've played matches where, like, when you're in a competitive matches, Mercy, where both teams are really doing well and you have to, like, think on your feet and fly around, it's actually really fun. But if you're just going to sit there and be like, oh, I'm just the healer, stand behind a tank, and that's, the end of your game, what can I say? You're taking a very poor approach to playing this hero, and you clearly just don't want to give the time to learn how to play it.
Yeah, very true. But okay, so that's a lot of good discussion about that's a lot of good discussion about like kind of hero meta and stuff like that. But let's go into sort of what they changed with a couple of heroes, because we did just go through our hero discussion month. If you want to go back and watch those, we did full on talks about all the heroes. But
and now some of them are just dumb.
Some of them are really strong now, especially Bastion and Torbjorn.
Some got dumber. Why is Bastion dumber now?
So Josh, go ahead, talk about Bastion, as you seem so excited.
Bastion, like, at first he's like, we have a 4 million health shield, but if you break it, at least you can kill the stupid Wally. But now it's like he has all this armor. He can heal for flat percentage HP, like 25% per second, and he has all that. What is going on? Like, we couldn't, like, we were playing for like 2.5 hours before this. So we're like, kill the Bastion, focus the Bastion. 6 people shooting at a Bastion. He's like, haha, I'm a Bastion. It doesn't matter. Sure, he has that weak spot on his back, but it doesn't even freaking matter when you're shooting at him. You can't even get to the weak spot because you're dead already. Stupid. I hate him.
All right, let me.
And I mean, it's even worse now because his turn angle is 360 degrees. Yes. So it's not like you can get to the back and you force him to like stand up or anything. He's just going to turn around and gun you down, even if you get back there. And heaven forbid, now this is what we ran into a lot. was Pocket Mercy on a Bastion.
Oh my god.
Because what their reasoning was, okay, we're taking away the front shield, we're going to make him beefier. So his base health is now 300. They gave him an extra 50 armor on his base health. And then when he drops down into a sentry, it jumps up to 600 total HP. 400 of it is armor, 200 is regular HP. And that's just hard to chew through. I mean, that is like a diva plus, just sitting there like hurting you. And then if you have a mercy, then it's healing the entire time while it's killing you, which is great. But their reasoning was saying, okay, we're going to make him tankier. We're going to remove the auto shield. He's going to have to take damage. But we're going to take his damage down. So 33% damage nerf to the sentry form.
It's still really strong.
It's still really strong, but here's, where I think this kind of got wrong was they limited the bullet spread. They actually made him more accurate. So even though they took his damage down, thanks to the fact that the accuracy is up, you kind of nerfed your nerf. And then they also made the reload speed shorter. And if we're now adding Pocket Mercy onto Bastion, if that damage amp is going on to him, well, her amplification, I believe, is 30%. It's either 20 or 30%. Don't quote me on the number. But if you're putting that damage amp on him, then the damage nerf is no longer there. And now you just have Super Bastion, the unkillable.
Oh, dude. Okay, so as someone who's played an hour of Bastion so far, okay?
And I hate you so much.
Part of the problem,
It was the
Bizzle.
only way we were winning, Josh. It's the only way we were winning.
No, we could have
Unnecessary
won even
evil.
more. But at what cost? At what cost? Who cares if you take over the world, but you kill everybody in the process? It's not worth it.
Sorry, I play Secret Paladin sometimes, you know? Okay. Alright, so, number one, his health is hilarious, okay? I had not one, but 2 tracers in a row come in, ult on me, on top of me, and I just live, healed through it. The second one came through, ulted again, healed through it. Like, the healing is hilariously
That was the Volskaya game.
It's so
Yeah, that
fast.
was our Volskaya game.
He was literally sitting. He wasn't like behind cover. He didn't have his back to a wall.
No.
He was literally sitting in front of a corridor, right in front of mid on the second hill, and he just kept laughing the entire time. I killed Tracer. I killed another one. It was so dumb.
To make matters worse, we had a Torbjorn turret sitting right on him. So, like, if anyone even got up to him, we had Torbjorn turret hitting him.
And I
Like,
put a
okay.
Junkrat trap on him, so everybody who went on him got trapped. So it's like, it was dumb.
I mean, it's gonna turn into a game of turret defense, right?
Yeah,
Like if you're
that's
controlling points, you just look where do we place the turrets to maximally cover each other and never die.
Actually, that's the second point I want to get to, is though this is like really hilarious and really fun to play, right? This is a hilariously broken character, I think, at this point in time. Broken is a strong word for it. It's a really good character, right? I have an issue with the turret meta we're going towards, right? So, like, one of the strongest comps I've been like against in a pug, right, is a Zenyatta, a Torbjorn, and a Bastion, and like maybe a tank and like whoever else, right? But all of those turrets set up just is so hard to break, and you're just going in and going in and going in, and they just remake them whenever they're done. It
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, why don't you put a Symmetra in the mix, right, and throw her wall turrets around your Bastion, and anybody who even gets close to him, now they're A,
God.
slowed, and B, you're damaging them.
Oh yeah, not Zenyatta. It's Symmetra. My bad. Symmetra.
Yeah.
Yeah. Symmetra's turrets, along with the Torbjorn turret, along with Bastion as turret form.
It's beautiful. I love it. This is new meta. I'm doing this tonight.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
okay. Well,
Oh my God.
we've kind of danced around this, but let's talk about Torbjorn now, because Josh and I just got, Josh Bizzle and I, we just played I think we played 4 consecutive games against the same Torbjorn, and he just rocked us. Offense, defense, it didn't matter. Even in our new cap point, game mode, this dude was out there killing us just as Torbjorn, not even turret necessary.
Right off
He was
spawn,
just
nothing.
gunning us down.
I was a Junkrat hitting him in the face over and over again. He literally, we saw the kill cam. He walked up, right click, 100%, like 78%, and just killed both me and Dylan and just walked. Like, Dylan was like, did he kill you too or something? I'm like, yeah, that was dumb. Like,
Yeah.
Not as dumb as
So,
Bastion, but still, like, strong.
Right. To let you know why we're kind of amazed at this. Before the beta went down, Torbjorn was kind of the consensus weakest, hero in game, especially in the defense role, which was already considered the weakest role in the game. His non-turret abilities were so bad that you just never did anything. Like, you waited for people to die to run and pick up scrap so you could get to your level 3 turret. That was the only way you were effective. So what they did was they changed how his turret kind of interaction is. So it used to be you could get a level 3 turret as soon as you could gather enough scrap. Well, now scrap no longer affects your turrets. You can automatically get a level 2 turret at any time. You just have to sit down, set the time up to make it. You have to still upgrade it by hammering away, but it'll get to level 2. There's no restriction on that. It's really easy. But what they did was they wanted to make the character more dynamic. So what they did was they took his gun and amped its damage by 25%. Mm-hmm. So now he's just out there gunning you down because his little molten pistol is so strong. Like, it's ridiculous.
And his alternate fire increased by 50%.
Yeah. It's strong. It's and really then good. Now his turrets, level 1 and level 2, do more damage, but they're a little weaker health-wise. But considering the fact that if you're standing next to it at all, it can gain health. And then we get to his ultimate. So his ultimate Molten Core still works very much the same as it used to, except now your level 2 turrets automatically go to level 3. No matter where you are on the map, you do not need to be near your turret for it to turn level 3. All you have to do is hit ultimate. Yeah. And I know this because I was playing a game where I had left my turret on the point. I died out trying to, fight on the rest of the map. And as I res, I have ultimate, and someone is attacking my turret on the point. I instantly hit my ultimate. It re-heals itself to 600 health and level 3, wipes out 3 people, and that was play of the game. That was play of the game, Torbjorn, for pressing Q in base. Just Q, kill 3 people, win, and I'm like,
wow.
Yeah, he's real broken.
Skill hero.
Like, yes, I want the character to maybe tone down a little bit, but I think I really like the changes to him. It feels like a fresh character. Like, I was able to go out onto the map, right? There was a real incentive for me to go out and pick up that stuff so I can get armor packs, right?
Yeah.
Which,
by the way, you now actually give your teammates armor. Like, that is actually something you can do, since you're not hoarding it for turrets.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels nice. I love it.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit of a.
I still want my spider turret. That's all I want.
I like that they have decreased the health on the original ones, or on the base levels. On, let's see.
1 and 2.
Levels 1 and 2, yeah.
Yep.
I play mostly Reaper, and I have a much easier time of taking out his turrets after he first sets them up. In general, like when they set them in a little pocket, nobody can get around to them. I just shadow walk in and boom, boom, and it dies much quicker and easier than it used to. I used to never be able to take out a Torbjorn turret, and now by myself, and now I can consistently do that.
Yeah.
Until he's shooting your face off.
Yeah, unless
which you can do in one shot now.
Done.
That being said, okay, one change I would like to make to Torbjorn's turret is take half a second or so more to lock onto you.
Yeah, I could agree with that. It's
agreed.
Pretty quick.
It's insta-lock, and it's insta-track, right? It tracks you perfectly.
Yeah. So I was playing Genji, right? I climbed over a wall. It was facing about 280 degrees the other way, right? Instantly locked onto me and shot me down before I could even touch it. So,
I mean, it was designed, in my opinion, like this turret was designed to be the anti-air for anti-Pharah. Like you're supposed to set this up and pretty much say, okay, Pharah's not going to death from above us because the second she pops out, this turret's going to, murk her. But at the same time, it's murking every, high mobility hero that's supposed to be trying to get, different angle advantages for their hero. So it hurts people like Genji, Hanzo, and Widowmaker to a degree that I don't think is really fair to those heroes.
Do we know? Does it trace movement? Like, does it shoot ahead? I don't know.
No,
the right
it needs
word
to see you. Like you
yeah,
have
but
to be
if
in
you're
line of
moving
sight
at a
for it to start.
velocity, like if you're walking across at a velocity, is it shooting ahead of you in order to hit you by the time that you get there?
Yes.
See, that needs
So
to be
it perfectly tracks you.
Perfectly tracks you. There's got to be something that you can dodge it, but like I think that's a built-in way to counter it.
Tracer Dash and Genji Dash can do it for a certain amount of time. Like, when they do the dash, there will be an initial lapse of seconds for the turret to catch up to you, but it will catch up to you pretty quickly.
Yeah. Is there any, like, stutter... Has anybody practiced with stutter step or, like, zigzag walking or anything like that to dodge him?
I've tried, but to me it seems like it's an auto lock.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to help.
Wow.
I mean, you're dead pretty quick, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I mean,
Stutter,
you're
dead.
out there stutter stepping, like, I don't know, like Winston stutter step, just...
By the time you figure out in your head, I should stutter step, you're probably dead. If you have to think about it, you're probably dead.
Yeah. By the time I climbed over that wall and was like, oh, there's a turret there. Oh, I'm dead.
Yeah. Before Bizzle hits the floor, he's dead. But yeah, before we go, the last thing we have to cover is we have a new game mode. We completely skipped this over this. Now, when they announced Control, in my head, I thought of the typical FPS Control where there's 3 points on a map. You control a point, you get points or a percentage towards a victory. And then the more points you control, the faster it moves, right? Like that to me is what Control is. This to me seemed like it's more to me 3 rounds of King of the Hill.
Yep.
It's like condensed King of the Hill too, because there's only one hill.
Yeah. So like I understand why they called it Control, but I don't think it's what you prototypically think of as Control. Am I wrong in this, or is this pretty much what you guys were thinking?
I think
I
they
don't have any
combined,
expectations
like,
going
Control's a
into
tough
game.
name.
Whoa, that was a lot. What were you saying?
Shut up, stutter step.
No, Josh. What is this? What you were thinking of when you're thinking of Control, Josh?
I mean, I think I was thinking more along. I think it could have gone a couple of different ways. I was thinking of what you described, Chris, that kind of like domination type game.
Yeah.
Or I was also thinking maybe it could be King of the Hill. But I also thought of, if anybody play like COD 5 or Advanced Warfare, there's something called War or Momentum where you like progress through a map.
Yep.
But this is like a combined, like condensed King of the Hill combined with like a Control like objective point all around the map, because in most King of the Hill games across FPS titles, you start racking up points as soon as you step in the hill, right? But this game requires you to actually capture the point in order to start racking up points. So I think it should go one way or the other, because it's just really tricky to play around. Then again, we've only really played this for a few hours, but it's like they mashed those 2 game types into one, and it's very swingy.
Yeah, it's real back and forth. I had a game where they had control of the point. It was on Nepal, and it was third point. So has anyone played Nepal on the third point where it's on the you come into the what look like ruins?
Oh, the candle room.
Yeah, the candle
we
room
actually
with the
lost
center point.
game 2. Yeah, we lost round 2 on purpose just to see round 3 once.
So yeah,
we lost on purpose.
Yeah.
I
So
was Bastion. We lost on purpose.
No, so we actually had a game mode where we had a Bastion control that point, and we were down 99% to 0, and we got in that point, killed the Bastion finally, and then just stood on that point and ended up winning 199. Like, it was super swingy.
Did you play against us? Because that is literally how our game ended, I feel like.
Yep.
Yeah, we lost 99 to 100.
Yeah, it's a real swingy game mode. Like, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it. I think the 2 new maps we got are really cool.
The 2 maps are awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 2 maps are really cool. I think we've been talking about level design this entire time. I think those two designs or those two maps have great level design, have great respawn points. I didn't really see any problems with them.
They give, surprisingly, like Nepal map 3 and Liang Tower map 1 give a surprising amount of strength over to Lucio for his knockback, because they both have map edges right next to points. I've gone through and been Lucio kicked off both of them like a ridiculous amount. Also, you can do it on Liang map 2, which has this like, it's surrounded by what looks like a pond. Like, you think you can jump on this pond to get to the center point, but you actually just fall through and die.
You drown. Drown pond.
Yeah, I think you and I, Dylan, we did that like right after each other that game. I was like, oh, pond, I can go in there and hide. I can get some, vertical cover. Nope.
Yeah. But
yeah,
I
adjust that a little bit. There's a couple of.
I was like.
Yeah, but what do we think? What do you think about the game mode overall? Is this going to replace anything? Do we see this replacing sort of payload as the main game mode? No, right? No.
I think it'll be interesting though.
I think it'll end up
getting some depth to it.
I think this is more. Honestly, I think this is more competitive than Capture the Point, though. To be fair,
I think so. By far.
I think Capture the Point's by far the worst one.
I don't agree with that.
Why? What are you seeing?
I do not see many swings in control of. Sorry,
what?
I mean swings of control in the control game, right? So once you've captured the point, it's incredibly hard to get on it again. Or once you've lost it, it's incredibly hard to get on it.
True.
It's a good.
I don't know. I don't think this is well figured out, and I'll have to give my opinion on it, in a week or two. But for now, I don't find it as competitive or as fun, really. But
I just think it's more. In my opinion, I think it's the complete opposite. I think it's more competitive.
Do you find it more fun?
I think it's more competitive. I think it's more. I think I have to work harder in Control than I do in Capture the Point.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Does not answer my question, Chris.
I do have more fun, Bizzle, because I'm a competitor. I like working hard.
I think if they took out the required time in order to capture the point, it would be such a better mode. Because
so just instantly, the second you set foot on it, you start accruing time.
If you're the only team, if your team is the only members with people inside the hill, then you should be racking up points immediately. Otherwise, it just takes way too long to break the hill and then cap it before somebody break. Because what makes King of the Hill so competitive in other shooters like Halo, Call of Duty, is the fact that those hills rotate and you have to anticipate spawns, cut them off, and you have different entry routes into the hill to try and break these hills. But the fact is, there's only one hill. It's a best of 3, sure, but you only have one hill to break. You're going to be coming from the same place every single time. So if you are able to break the hill for a few seconds as an attacking team, that you've already won from a disadvantageous position. So you shouldn't have to fight another battle of sitting there for however many seconds to cap the point. Because you pretty much have to clean sweep the team. Otherwise, you're not going to recap the hill because it's just way too hard.
That's another issue I have with it. Well, very well said.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But I think the basis for the game mode is way more competitive for Control. I think Capture the Point runs into problems with maps and runs into problems with kind of being stale.
Well, you're also comparing the two newest maps, which are arguably probably two of the best maps, right?
Yeah. True. I see your point. I mean, it could be the more time we put into it and the more maps we see.
Are you saying Volskaya Industries isn't the best map in the game?
Can we hang up this
What?
call right now, please? Please.
What?
Volskaya Industries.
Oh god, that map.
Volskaya Industries.
Yes, that map is terrible. Although maybe they would buff that with the Torbjorn. Torbjorn
Bissell was
buff.
literally sitting in the middle of the hill as Bastion. It was so stupid. The map got even dumber because of that. I'm still angry.
Awesome.
No,
And he was on my
you
team.
think that's bad? Imagine how bad Anubis is right now. Like
Oh,
I haven't
oh, it's
played
hilarious
on
bad.
Anubis, but that shit's got to be hard to break now.
Yeah. Oh my god. I
Josh, that
couldn't
wasn't
even-
actually even the worst of it. I got rezzed in the middle of a team. Okay, there were 4 people in the middle. I was in the middle of them. I killed all of them.
We got me and Dylan got spawn camped by a Bastion. That was fun.
Oh yeah, that was.
We're on Hollywood, right
That
by the
was
payload,
pretty
right by the
bad.
payload, and there's a Bastion on the elevator with a Mercy, just waiting for us to come out. Just waiting. As soon as you walk out, you're getting shot by a Bastion. It was terrible. It wasn't fun times.
Like,
No, it
when
was
you're
not
relying
great.
on the D.Va ult to kill him, it's like...
Yeah.
Yep.
And half the
Tracer
people can't
can't kill
hit a
him.
D.Va ult. All right, guys. Anything else that we didn't cover that anyone else wants to cover and go over? Anything we missed out on? Anyone in chat have anything?
I want to say, Symmetra got buffed, which was nice.
Yes.
Her teleporter went down 40% in its cost.
Huge.
So I really think you're going to see more Symmetras. Maybe even as like these turret comps keep on happening, you'll see more of that. We also saw the fact that shield characters, they can now be healed in their shields. So that's an indirect buff to Zarya, Symmetra, and Zenyatta, which is kind of nice. We also saw nerfs to Mercy. And as someone who's played a good bit of Mercy, these are actually pretty significant nerfs to her. It was 40 meters and condensed it to 15. So you really have to be pretty close to the people you're rezzing now to be effective. It forces her to be much more upfront with her healing and her positioning. But one thing they did give her to make her more effective in her healing is she can now dash to dead allies. So their soul pops up, and you can now dash to them with your shift. So it's very interesting. And on top of that, they changed Lucian's gun a little bit. So now he doesn't have this like auto straight aim like D.Va pistol. There's actually some like cock in between the shots to make them have a little bit more spread in between them. So it was interesting. They kind of took the 2 strongest supports at the time, nerfed them a little bit, not enough to like change fundamentally how they work. But at the same time, indirect buffs to the other 2 supports in the category have also done a lot to help, I think, balance out the support role in the game. Help break the Mercy Lucio meta.
Yeah, and I think they've done a great job. I've seen a lot more Symmetra and Zenyatta in a lot of my games. So
Lots more Zenyatta.
yeah, Zenyatta making a lot of comeback. Actually, she's real good.
Yep. Oh, and also, one thing I do want to bring up, with the rise of turrets, I've also seen a rise of sniping characters. So I've seen a lot more Widowmakers, and I've seen a lot more Hanzos out. And this is largely due to the fact that when you start seeing these turrets, the only people that can hit them effectively now are snipers that actually do outrange them. So it's kind of nice that since these few characters have now risen up in power, their counters, who were also weak when we had started, are now also rising up to meet them.
Yeah. Really interesting thing. Also, guys, I do want to bring up, at the end of each month, I think I've talked about this before, at the end of each month, we're going to be doing meta breakdowns. So we're going to be playing the beta, having a lot of fun, seeing what meta shifts are happening, sort of taking stock of that. And at the end of each month, the last show of the month, we're going to go over the meta that we went through and experienced throughout the month. So Dylan touched on that a little bit for what happened with the beginning of the beta. But the first one of those episodes is going to be on the 24th. So if you guys want to go ahead and watch out for that and keep up for that, it'll be a very interesting discussion that day. For the first meta discussion that we go through, really in depth about what's going on with the game, especially with all the changes that we're seeing So it should be interesting. I'm interested to see if this turret meta is a phase or if it continues throughout until they change something.
It won't be a phase if I have my say.
Oh god.
You
Not
must
playing with you anymore,
construct
just
additional
based on principle.
pylons.
Oh, also, one more thing I have in my notes that I want to talk about, just this one last thing, is is anyone else bugged by the fact that if you just play a character for like one go through, it counts for like at the end game, all of your stats are like, oh, you only hit one in elimination where your average is 7, right?
Oh yeah, they used to do it for each individual hero, huh?
Yeah.
They do
I
it for
yeah, I
each
like the old
individual
way.
hero.
They still do?
No,
or they don't?
No, they still do. No,
Still
they
do it
still
for
do.
each individual
But the
hero.
problem is, like, so if I play an entire game as Devo, right? I'm gonna hit 7 or 10 eliminations, right? Whereas if I play like a minute of her, I'm gonna hit maybe 1 or 2. Okay? Which then like throws off like average. At the end of the game, at like when you switch to the other characters, it's like, oh, this is like your diva stats and your Torbjorn stats, whatever, right? If we could change that to like per minute, I'd be so much happier.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
'Cause
at
it
first
does
I
that-
didn't agree, but when you brought up the average thing, that it starts playing with your average equation. Actually, that's an interesting point.
Yeah.
I
didn't
like.
think about that.
It could be a good idea to do over time, because you're gonna switch around and play heroes the whole time. So I think that's a good idea, actually.
And it's kind of funny too,
Yeah,
especially with
especially
with Blizzard like really pushing for you to switch heroes mid matches and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like that seems to be their big focus. I'm surprised they didn't think about that.
And they have it in your like stats, in your character like stats page, your profile stats page, right? It says what you've done per minute, right? I just don't understand why they do that in the they don't do that in the actual like post game. It feels weird to me.
Yeah.
Blizzard, if you're listening, change that next patch, please.
And
Thank
delete
you.
Bastion, thank you very much. What? Who said that? Whoa, too drastic.
Totally Bastion. Bastion's fine.
All right, guys. So we're gonna end it off for today. But thank you guys for watching. Thanks to Caleb, Josh, Dylan, and Chris for being on. Thank you guys for watching. And next week we pushed it back, but next week is going to be our discussion on hero shooters. So we're going over Overwatch, Paladins, Paragon, Gigantic, Battleborn, etc. So guys, go ahead and check that out. And then after that, on the 24th, again, we're gonna go ahead with our meta discussion. But yeah, sit back, relax, enjoy the game. If not, go ahead and watch some streams, and we'll see you guys later.